It's time for the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Powerful and liberating business strategies you can start in 5 minutes or less. Now, here's your host, Dean Soto.
Hey, this is Dean Soto, founder of freedomin5minutes.com and prosulum.com. And we're here again with another Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode. Today's topic is this: automating the brainwashing of your clients. That and more coming up. Hope you like that title. You're probably thinking, wait, what? Is this guy a cult leader? Is he gonna turn me into some kind of weird, odd a person who's going to go and do some crazy cultish type stuff? No, that is not the case. At least not yet. Don't worry about it. We're all good. You're just fine. Keep on listening. Keep on listening. You're getting sleepy. Good morning. Good morning. Out on a walk with who? That's right, the Lunameister. The Lunameister is out here somewhere chasing some squirrels, having a grand old time. Hope she just doesn't get some poison ivy on her. Or poison oak. That's what I think actually happened with the whole poison oak incident a couple podcasts back. I think she was going through some poison oak, brought it back to the house, and Gideon brought it back, or Gideon petted her and got some poison oak. Anyway, I don't know. So back a few years back, I took this course. It was interesting. So I actually don't know how I learned about it, but it was around 2014 is when I heard about Infusionsoft. And I had been using Aweber. I'd been using a couple of different things. So if you don't know what Aweber is, it's an email marketing tool where you can say, someone subscribes to your email list, and you could say, hey, in 1 day, send them this. In 5 days, send them this. Then, very simple, very linear, very straightforward. And I had been using it for quite some time. And I honestly don't know when I started hearing about Infusionsoft. I think it was because I had a need for something, and I'm looking at some poison oak right now. I got to get rid of a lot of this poison oak. Anyway, I had a need for something where I wanted to make a kind of more of a decision base. So if somebody clicked on something, they got this thing over here versus that thing over there. And I was having a really hard time with Aweber and a couple of other things. And I must have Googled and found out about Infusionsoft. And Infusionsoft, at least at the time, wasn't very popular. And I knew you could do some cool things with it, but I didn't realize all of the things that you could do. And now, just so you know, I'm not an affiliate with Infusionsoft. I actually don't even recommend Infusionsoft at this point in time. I use ActiveCampaign, which does so much, and I love it. It's absolutely amazing, which is going to lead into what I'm going to be talking about later on. But the whole point of this was that one of the things that Infusionsoft did that was so different than anything else was that you could tag people based off of what they did, how they responded. If they clicked a link, you could tag them as interested in outsourcing. So if it was a link that was talking about, hey, the 5 ways to outsource, blah, 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 you could click that link, and when they clicked it, they would get that as a as a tag that they obviously are interested in it, right? Because you're not going to click something really. I mean, you could, but more often than not, you're not going to click something unless you're actually interested in it, right? You could do things such as you could even write scripts on your web page where if they viewed something for a specific amount of time, you could then tag them as having watched a video for a certain amount of time, right? You could tag them with just about anything. And I was thinking, wow, that is really, really cool. And that's neat. And I didn't really think much of it after that. But then I ran into Jermaine Griggs, who became one of my mentors. I bought quite a bit of stuff from him, and I still find ways to this day to utilize him and his services and just his knowledge. Guys is absolutely amazing. That guy runs like $100+ million business, and it's like fully 100% automated. It's just him and a couple family members, pretty much. It's crazy what he's able to do. But he runs a place called hereandplay.com, and everything that if you go through that, all of the stuff that you get to see what he does with automation is absolutely crazy. But it's not crazy in the sense of over the top. So one of the things that it was through the Online Empire Academy when that was going on, when we first did the Online Empire Academy, one of the things that Jermaine taught was not just about selling that initial product, but making sure someone consumed the product or service. Because there are a lot of people who will buy something, and we all know it. You're probably one of them. I'm one of them too. Will buy something and never really truly use it after we bought it. Or we might use it once and that's about it. But a lot of just for example, like with Infusionsoft, I heard about it, but I never really truly went farther with it, right? I just kind of heard about it and that was that. But one of the most important things, which I never realized at all until I heard it from him, was the concept of assisting your customers and even pushing your customers to consume the content, to consume what they've purchased, and how important that is. It's important in a couple of respects. First is from the altruistic part of it. The fact is that they're not going to see, if you really truly believe in your product or service, they are not going to benefit from it if they don't actually do anything, right? They are not going to benefit from the product or service if they don't actually consume it, right? So just like all those diet pills or all the P90X and any type of exercise thing or whatever, especially like the exercise stuff, the people who create that want you to go through it. That's actually super beneficial, not only to you, but to them. But they ultimately want you to see success, right? They want you to get fit. They want you to get ripped. They want you to lose weight. They want you to do all of those different things because, one, you'll be happier and healthier. And two, you'll see that the product works. Three, you'll become a testimonial. And four, if you've seen success, do you think you'll buy something from them again? Of course. You know, like with Jermaine, my first thing I bought was like $1,000. Then the next was $5,000. And then the next, I'm looking to spend like $20,000 with his stuff because I've seen success. I've seen that his stuff works, that he actually cares, and that he pushes me through the consumption of the product. Okay, so back to what I was getting at with the Online Empire Academy. There were a couple of courses out there that taught how to sell on Amazon. The three major ones that I could think of, at least at the time, were, the first one was the Amazing Selling Machine. They actually, I believe that they started off with the Amazon Selling Machine, and I think they had a trademark infringement and then went to the Amazing Selling Machine. And that was a big player. The next one was, what was it? It was a proven Amazon course from Jim Cockrum. That thing's still going on. It was only like $300 or something like that at the time. Really, really good. That's the one that I did to start learning how to sell on Amazon. It was great. And super, super valuable, always giving a ton of value. And it actually worked and made money. And then the third was actually ours, the Online Empire Academy. We had a lot of people go through our initial Online Empire Academy course, which taught you how to sell on Amazon. There were a couple things where, so with the Amazing Selling Machine, it was like a $5,000 course, and it went through a lot of, it gave you the tools to start selling, but it was kind of, I don't know, very just kind of high level-ish, in my opinion. The Proven Amazon course was great, tons of information, but it was all over the place. Like you really, really had to be seeking in order to find, right? And so what we wanted to do with the Online Empire Academy was not just teach people how to sell on Amazon, but actually guide them through the entire process. And not only guide them, but kick them in the butt if they didn't do anything, right? So with Infusionsoft, what we were doing was they would buy the course. So first things first, they would buy the course. They would get the welcome email. Hey, welcome, check out this video. It would ask them right in the beginning, are you a beginner or have you sold on Amazon before? Depending on what they chose, or if they didn't choose anything, which was actually even cooler. If they didn't choose anything, depending on what they chose, it put them on a completely different path. Okay. If they didn't choose anything, it would actually say, hey, we sent you an email yesterday and didn't get a response from this. Is everything okay? Can you fill out this survey? And if they didn't do it again, be like, hey, we haven't heard anything back from you at all. Can you fill this out? If not, we're going to refund your money, because we don't want to just sell to people who are not going to take action, right? It was so cool. So we'd have people who would answer, and great, they'd go on the track. We'd have people who wouldn't answer, and they'd respond, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I just answered right now. Thank you so much. And when they answered, so for example, if they answered right away that they were a beginner, it would introduce them to me, because I was not the expert. I was one of more. I sold on Amazon. I did really well I think well on Amazon, but I wasn't like selling in the millions or anything like that. Right. So they would actually go onto my track, and they would have a video from me saying, hey, this is Dean Soto. So thank you so much for getting the course. Hey, because you're a beginner, the cool thing is that you're going to be going along this course with me. And so here's what to expect over the next few days. So first things first, you're going to need to do, and I would tell them what they needed to do. So the first thing I wanted them to do was to send 10 to go through the course, and these are the videos you need to watch, and then actually send your first 10 items into Amazon FBA. And I would say, I'll talk to you, I'll send you an email in about 3 days. And then in about 3 days, they would get an email that said, hey, did you send, it was a survey that actually asked, so it was a link to a survey that asked how many items they sent. It was just a quick survey. They didn't even have to enter in their email because it passed the data over to the form, so I already knew who they were. And so they would go to the to that page, fill out the survey. If they answered that they sold less than 10, or that they did 10 or less, then it would actually kick them in the butt and say, hey, it'd be like, hey, that's great that you did some of them, but we need you to send in 10. So here, I'll give you an email. I'll shoot you back an email in about a day or two. But I want you to make sure that you did more than 10. Otherwise, we can't go on to the next step. If they said more than 10, then it would say, oh my gosh, great job. You're amazing. That is awesome. You know what? Most people don't even do that the first time around. They don't do that very quickly. Yada, yada. You're amazing. You're an action taker. Yada, yada. Okay. So we're going to go on to the next thing, because we're just going to have to wait until they actually get to the Amazon fulfillment center. And when they do, there's some things that we need to do while it's there. So I'll email you back probably in about 5 to 7 days, but keep on shipping some stuff. The more that you send, the more that you're going to make. Okay. So keep on doing that. Congratulations. So then it would take them along the rest of the path, which was, it would ask them, hey, did you sell any? Hey, did you do this? Hey, whatever. And when they answered yes to everything, boom, it would actually kick them to the advanced course, to the advanced side. So the people who had already sold, they had already gone to the advanced track, and where they were being taught by my business partner at the time. All right. And he would then be teaching them some more of the advanced side of things, some more of the advanced concepts, and so on and so forth. When they got through the advanced side of things, then it would ask them, hey, how much have you sold? They would ask how much they sold. If they sold over a certain point, it would be like, wow, that's amazing, great job. And then later on, it would ask, hey, we're thinking of doing a coaching program. Would that be something you were interested in? It's not going to be less than $5,000, but it'll be worth the value that you get is going to be worth much more than that. And anyone who said yes got invited to a coaching program. Anyone who said no, then it was like, okay, yeah, no problem. But it would just constantly upset. And this is all automated. They got so much value as they went through this thing that people absolutely loved us. And we had some heavy hitters that would consistently be getting pushed through their business, right? And so it's actually making me think of some things that I could do with mine right now. So anyway, what we're doing right now with Prosulum and Freedom in 5 Minutes and so on is with our customers, or our prospects, is one of the things, I'll just give you one example, is when they schedule a discovery call, we do things like talking with them. And so I have a little counter that basically says, when it's 4 days out from their discovery call, I want you to send these emails. And these emails are kind of like push away emails. If someone's like a solopreneur, so based off of the questions that they ask or the questions that they answer in the questionnaire, it'll say in the email, hey, hey, solopreneur, how's, it's so great to, to be able to spend time with you and to go on this discovery call. One thing that we notice with a lot of solopreneurs is that they're used to the hustle. They're addicted to the hustle. They're addicted to the grind. Is this something that you also are addicted to? Because it probably isn't a good fit for us if that's the case, because we are about scaling and automating and utilizing 5 minutes at a time to document your processes and then grow your business and so on. I really want to make sure that this is something that you would be that would really truly interest you. And so now they have to respond. If they don't respond, it's going to be like, hey, I shot this email, and I never got a response, yada, yada, right? If they have like 5 to 10 employees, then it's going to be like, hey, it's cool. It's awesome that you want to talk. 5 to 10 employees is such a great place to be, because it's that point where you can make two choices. You could scale the normal traditional way, which is hire more employees and more until you're at 100 employees and your costs go up like tremendously. Or you can do it the smart way, the 21st century way, and use a virtual systems architect, which, one virtual systems architect does the work of 2 to 3 normal employees, if not more. Plus they're scaling your business. Is that which are you looking to do? And now they are going on a different track, right? And so what's the point of all this? The point of all this is that there are tools out there right now, whether it's manual or whether it's automatic. One of the things that you can do, and one of the best things you can do, is help your prospects, help your customers consume your service, your content, your product. The more that you're able to do that, the more that you're going to see that they become raving fans, or even though it's not a nice thing, they don't end up becoming a customer, right? Even in the beginning, you don't want somebody who's not a good fit, right? If they're not a good fit, then you just dodged a bullet. The faster that you are able to get rid of people who are not in line with what you do, the better, right? There's so I can't tell you how many times I brought in someone they're just not of the right mindset, and they cause nothing but problems all the time, right? And so you want to make sure that you have a system and that you help people consume your stuff, because if they don't like what you have, boom, they go away. If they like what you have, it's great, they stay. If they love what you have, then they become raving fans, right? So what are you doing right now in your business that's helping your clients to consume what you have to offer? What do you have in prior to them joining and after them joining? What do you have that helps them along the process of consuming and growing their company? It's a very, very big, very huge thing when it comes to the success of your business. All right, this is Dean Soto. Go check out freedomin5minutes.com. Hey, if you're not subscribed to the podcast, go to Google, type in Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Not 5 minutes to freedom, not freedom 5 minutes. Type in Freedom in 5 Minutes in Google. And you can subscribe via Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, and a whole host of other places. Go check that out. And if you want a virtual systems architect, you want to spend 5 minutes a day scaling your business, go to prosulum.com, prosulum.com. This is Dean Soto, Freedom in 5 Minutes, and I will catch you on the next Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast episode.
Thanks for listening to the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast. Now, head over to www.freedomin5minutes.com and register for our free masterclass and discover how to start systemizing and automating your entire business 5 minutes at a time. We'll see you next time on the Freedom in 5 Minutes podcast.